Gentlemen, I'm going to show you today how exactly I want you to do the homework for tonight with scatter plots. If you look on page 94, problem number 2, it says writing the equation of a trend line. I'm going to use that data table of the year to the median price of Florida homes. And what we're going to do is I already punched that into the calculator. And I found the equation of the line to be 1,411.42x plus 25,114. My objective is now to see if I can get a similar equation of the line using only a paper and a pencil. Now, how do I do this? I first start by labeling my x and y's. My x-axis is going to be the year since 1940. We see from the problem from the textbook that the first year is 1940. The last year is the year 2000. So instead of labeling my x-axis of 1940, 1950, 1960, and so forth, I'm going to start at 0. It's a nice number. I'm then going to have increments of 10 years. 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. This is saying years since 1940. So 10 years would be 1950, 1960, 1970, and so on. My y-axis is going to be the median home price. We're going to label the y-axis with 20K, 40K, 60K, 80K, 100K, 120K. Making sure that our intervals are exactly the same distance. It's imperative that our distance is the same and constant throughout, or we will not get accurate numbers. I then make my data points. I put my data points onto the graph. So we see at the year 1940, which is at our 0, that the median price was $23,100. So we go to a little bit higher than our 20,000 and we make a mark, just like so. We then go to 1950. We see at 1950 it's 40,100. We go up to 40,000. We go a little bit higher than 40,000 to make our next mark. At 1960, we're at 58,100. We go up to close to 60,000, but a little bit below 60,000. We make our mark. At 1970, we're at 57,600. So we're a little bit even below the mark we just made. We are here. So as we can see, the scatter plot is starting to get a little bit scattered, hence the name scatter plot. At 40 years past 1940, which is 1980, we're at 89,300. We go up to 80,000. We go a little bit higher. We see that this line is 90,000, a little bit below that line. We make a mark. 1990, we're at 98. We go up to our 100 mark, a little bit below. We make our mark. And finally, at the year 2000, we're up at 105,500. 100,000, we go a little bit higher, we make our mark. Once we have all our points plotted, we now have to make a trend line that shows the relationship of all these data points. So we're going to make our line nice and lightly. We're going to make a nice best fit line. That looks like a pretty good line. If our line intersects some points, it could happen, but my graph is pretty accurate, so none of my points are intersected by the line. Once we have our line, we have to look for a common point that we can use to get two sets of coordinates. We need an x1 and a y1, and we need an x2 and a y2. We will use these values to find our slope. So looking at my graph, I can see that the year, let's say, 30 years past 1940, which is 1970, I'm going to make a point. I'm exactly at 70K. So I neglect all my scatter plots to now make my own points on the line. So my x1 will be 30, my y1 will be 70,000. My x2 and y2, let's see. If I'm looking, if I see if I do everything correct, that's a little bit off. Let's go with 50, No, 50 doesn't work. How about 60? Oh, 60 may work. Yep. So I'm going to use the point 60, which is what? The year 2000. Make a point. And I'm pretty close to 120,000. Using my slope equation, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, I find I'm at 120,000 minus 70,000 over 60 minus 30. We are left with 30 and 50. And using our calculators very quickly, we could find that 500,000 divided by 30. That's correct. I'm just going to double check it just to make sure. That might be a little bit too high, but let me just make sure. 50, 1, 2, 3, divided by 30. Yes, I was incorrect. It's 1,666.67, which is my slope. If I plug that into the y equals mx plus b, I can see that y equals 1,666.67x plus b. Now I need to solve for my b. I have my x values. My y1 is 70,000 equals 1,666.67 times, what's my x value? 30 plus b. This comes out to be 50,000, 70,000 plus b. I minus my 50,000 from both sides. I'm left with b equals 20,000. So my final equation of the line is y equals 1,666.67x plus 20,000. Is that close to the original? If we look at the above, we can see that the original equation using the calculator, the exact best fit line comes out to be 1,411.42x plus 25,114. As you can see, I am close with the slope of the line, but my y-intercept is off by 5,000. That is due to the accuracy of my graph. If you want to get extra credit on the assignment, try to make your graph as accurate as possible. If not, this is good to get full credit for tonight's homework assignment. After you find this equation, you must then answer the parts A and part B of the homework question using both the paper and pencil equation and also the calculator equation. If anyone has any questions, please email me tonight. Thank you.